Hi, and welcome. This is Dr. Lenore Murciano. I am a feminine fertility coach, and welcome all to our workshop for today on awakening your innate fertility essence. I am so excited to be here today. So excited to share with all of you what I've learned and what I've been witnessing with all the women that I've been working on for the last 15 years. I specialize with women only, and of course, not just what I've seen with them, but also my own journey of healing my own endocrine system and my thyroid has really taught me a lot that I've had to learn on my own, that there hasn't been a lot of models out there for. And so I'm very, very excited to share all of that with you today. And we will be doing about an hour workshop here, and I will be showing you different things that I have found to really affect our relationship with ourselves and also heal and create health in our physical bodies as women. And so I just want all of you to take a deep breath and get comfortable, and perhaps if you've brought a journal or something to write with for those moments where you might have something that I say that resonates with you, or something that you recognize for yourself, and you might want to jot some things down. Also, if you have any questions, you might want to jot those down, and then you can feel free to email me and connect with me. I'd be more than happy to answer you and help you on your journey. Okay. So one of the things I'd like to start out with, as I mentioned, for me, it's been an interesting journey with my body. I have worked very intensely with my endocrine system and the challenges that I've had through that for a few years, and I was able to shift the dynamic in my body. And what I wanted to mention was that one of the things that I find that's very common with women is the powerlessness that they feel in their bodies when we can't shift our bodies, when we can't understand what's happening in our physical body, when we don't know how to fix something in terms of our physical body, when we can't heal ourselves, when we go and we get help on the outer, and we're not really able to see a difference or to see ourselves through this. So there's this place that is created within us where we feel powerless, and we don't really understand what is happening with our bodies. So hopefully what I am going to present to you today will help you to understand a little bit about what I've discovered through my own journey, and of course through my education, what I've discovered that really affects our body, our biology, and what our physical body is responding to. And what I hope that you'll receive from all of this is that you do have the ability to shift what is happening in your body. You're not as hopeless as you think you are. There are things that you can do, but it requires a shift in how you are perceiving yourself and your body. And it requires a certain level of commitment and a certain level of trust from you. And so I hope that I could shed some light on these things today. I'm more than happy to answer personal questions as well. Okay, so as we begin to dive into this material, one of the things about empowering ourselves and really shifting to understand that we do have power over our bodies is to recognize what areas we may need to actually focus in. And starting with, of course, what's not working, which most of you on this call will be the challenges that you're having with fertility. And this challenge that you're having with fertility allows you to, in a way, to actually look at things and perhaps invite a different way of seeing and understanding what's happening in your body. Since whatever you have been doing to this point may not have been working, and addressing it from the physical perspective only, which we're going to get into that, may have not been working for you, I'm inviting you to really have an open mind and to begin to connect with your body as you're listening to what I'm presenting to you, to know whether it actually resonates and feels true to your body. So I'm actually inviting you to actually listen to this in a new way, in a different way, which would be to see how it feels in your body and detach to some degree from your thoughts on yourself, your judgment of yourself, blaming yourself, because none of these things will actually help you with this material. And so before we dive in, I'd like to actually have or share with you an experience of jumping into yourself first, of kind of opening up that connection and centering yourself. So I invite you to take a deep breath exactly wherever you are. Unless you're driving, then perhaps it might not be a good idea. You could just listen through this video. But otherwise, just take a deep breath. And just start to notice your breath. And as you breathe, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to just become aware of your inner world. Many times we're rushing around and going from one activity to the next. And I want you to just kind of pause for a minute and shift gears by allowing yourself to connect and just become aware of what you're noticing within yourself. And notice what you feel in your body. Notice if you have any emotions. Notice what your sensations are. And notice what your thoughts may be. And as you continue to breathe, Just allow your inner body to expand. And for yourself to get a feeling, an awareness of this inner space in your body. Without any judgment. There's no need to change anything or to have a particular experience. We're just allowing ourselves to notice and become aware of our inner world. Complete acceptance for this moment. Complete acceptance in anything that you become aware of. You might become aware that there's tension in your neck. Or maybe the area in your back, lower back feels tense. You might become aware that you're feeling fluidity and movement throughout your body. You might become aware of a little bit of anticipation or anxiety. You might become aware of the area of you that feels tired, space within you. Maybe there's a few different combinations. Just acknowledge whatever is moving through you emotionally, whatever thoughts are moving through you. And whatever sensations you're aware of. And just allow. Almost like relaxing into it, giving it permission for all of it to be there. Letting yourself know that everything is perfect, exactly how it is right now, in this present moment. And from that place, allow yourself to breathe and take 3 deep breaths, just allowing. And as you do that, bring your awareness to why you wanted to be here, what resonated with you when you found out about this workshop. What was the attraction? What is it that you are hoping or desiring to receive? What possibility is there? What possibility opens up in you when you became aware of this class or this title? What's the yearning in your heart? What would you like to receive for today's class? And then just acknowledge that. Acknowledge the deep, deep yearning in your heart. And as we'll see later, this deep yearning is from your deepest essence. This is part of your essence communicating with you through your intuition, through your heart. It's important to listen. Listen to your heart. And listen to whatever is moving within. And so when you're ready, come back into the room and go ahead and jot down what your intention is in listening to this workshop today. And listening to the Awaken Your Innate Fertility Essence today. Great. So again, I want to thank all of you for being here and for allowing me to share what I have learned through my own personal journey and also working with hundreds, thousands of women over the last 15 years. I thank you. And so I want to start today by recognizing that everyone on this call and that is listening is most likely having a challenge with their fertility in one way or another. Might fall in different aspects of the spectrum of perhaps just wanting to enhance your fertility, to having fertility challenge and experiencing fertility challenges with your partner for several years. Perhaps you've tried some physical or Western protocols of IVF or hormone therapy or different variations, and perhaps you've tried some integrative medicine as well, acupuncture, Chinese medicine, etc. So there's a huge spectrum of different variations of how we can experience this challenge with our fertility. And in a conventional way, our fertility, we can define it as the ability to conceive within your physical body, the ability for the reproductive system, the endocrine system, the glandular hormones, biochemistry of the body to orchestrate this perfect rhythm and the synchronicity and allow your body to manifest life itself in physical form. And so it's this transformation that happens in your body via the chemicals, hormones, and organ systems, etc., into physical material. So we can all agree that it's this ability that women have to give birth to something. But I also want to expand this definition of fertility. We also include giving birth to something that is not only physical in nature, or is not only to conceive a child, but also could be to create and give birth to something new in your life. It could be a project, a book, a new phase of your life, a new relationship. It could actually be anything that is being created. And so from this perspective, or from the perspective, conventional perspective of creating material life itself, we have to acknowledge that there is this substance that we call life force or source or love that is the foundation of which all of life comes from. It's a creative impulse of which everything material is manifested from. And so this source has to actually move through us. And then in our bodies, it actually comes through and manifests physically as birthing a child, or it manifests in some other creative form. This energy can also manifest in movement and dance or art or many, many creative avenues. And so I want you to bring your awareness to this life force. And I want you to think of this life force as the force and the essence which makes you fertile. And from that, everything is born. So as we consider that all life has this essence to it, or everything manifested on the physical level has essence to it. And when we consider that most of us that have had fertility or any other physical issue with our feminine biology, reproductive system, hormones, etc., the norm is usually to fix it on the outside. The norm is usually to address the physical body, physical elements, the chemicals, the biochemistry, the cellular level, the hormones, the glands, and to make these changes in the physical body itself. And so while that is important, what happens is that from that perspective, we're missing half of the equation because we're only addressing it from the physical component. And for example, if we inform ourselves from quantum science and quantum medicine, it shows us that material manifestation is derived from energy, from consciousness, and nothing can be manifested without this energy field. So there's an energy field, a source, that we already identified as a life force. And so, again, from that perspective, we're missing at least half of the equation. So sometimes from that perspective, from the Western perspective of just dealing with the material aspect, which is our physical body and the cellular structures, etc., is successful. But many times it's not. Many times it leaves us wondering what's happening, not understanding, or blaming ourselves, or judging ourselves. And so At this point, I'd like to invite you to consider this other half of the equation, which is this life force and this essence. And in order for us to begin our journey in tapping into this life force or this other aspect, this energetic aspect of life itself or of creation, we have to go inward. And we have to look at the relationship with ourselves. Because it's within our being that we're going to be able to tap into that life force. That is not something that we can do from the outer. Now, I do want to say that the outer perspective is there's certainly certain nutrients and certain biochemical processes that are important for us to focus on. But more importantly, this essence needs our attention. And usually to our conventional protocols do not include cultivating this essence. And so we're going to look at what this means to cultivate this essence. And so the first thing in awakening our innate fertility essence is to recognize that the wisdom is in your body. This acknowledgement is really the doorway that opens up this whole other world inside of you. And so whenever we kind of veer off the course, this is the doorway back in. It's the wisdom is in your body. Your body, as women, holds the template, the blueprint to create harmony and healing in every single aspect of your physical body. And again, in order to connect with this wisdom in your body, you need to look at the relationship with yourself. And so the relationship with yourself or ourselves is key. And why is it key? Because, again, this essence, it leads us to this essence. And that essence is capable of shifting our biology, shifting what is happening on the physical level. This energy field or essence is able to determine the biochemistry. And it's able to empower ourselves so that we can align ourselves with this creative impulse of life itself. So that we're not only trying to accomplish something with the outer perspective, but that we're actually tapping into the foundation. Okay, so when we look at our relationship to ourselves, what does that really mean? So when we are looking at this aspect, this energetic field, and this relationship with our inner world. There are various aspects to it that we're going to be discussing in detail, so I'm going to cover them generally. There is what we call our subtle body and our psyche. So there's our emotional body, there's our mental body, and in these different subtle bodies, we carry the experiences and the perception that we've had about our lives. And we also carry our conscious and unconscious beliefs, and not just our personal experience, but we also carry what women collectively have experienced in the history, the lineage, and the cultural patterns, which we call our conditioning. And so this is all very important to our relationship with ourselves, because as we turn inward, we start to see all of our beliefs, all of our thoughts, all of our different emotions, and a lot of times we identify with these things and we think that that's who we are. And yet our essence is not any of those things per se. These are different aspects. These are like the ways in which we're communicating with ourselves, but it's not who we are. Who we are, we're going to call that our essence. And then what happens is, as we're having experiences as a woman, we then create beliefs from our culture and from our family and all of these different patterns. And so those beliefs and thoughts, sometimes those are not reflecting our true essence. In a way, that's kind of the story that we tell ourselves. So if we haven't been able to give birth, for example, or to conceive, all of a sudden we tell ourselves perhaps that we're not good enough. And we blame ourselves. And we go through these phases of blaming and shaming and all sorts of conditional patterns that are common to women in general. And so there are reasons for this. But more importantly, these perceptions and this conditioning kind of clouds our ability to connect with this essence that we are. And it also clouds our inner wisdom, which is where this essence communicates with us as women. And so there are reasons why we have this conditioning and why women have different conditioning than men, and why it also shows up in our reproductive organs, in our female biology, more so than in other aspects of our physical body. It's because these are ways in which we have learned culturally to define ourselves that are not in alignment truly with our feminine qualities. And so as women, we have both feminine and we have masculine qualities. And men also have feminine and masculine qualities. And so you have to understand that because we have lived in a culture that carries masculine ideals, we have been defining ourselves by those masculine ideals. And so this is not whether this is not a judgment on whether these ideals are good or bad. It's just that they're not the feminine ideals. And so what happens when we judge ourselves against masculine ideals is that we then make ourselves sit in for survival, for general approval, etc. And there's a way in which we have rejected our feminine qualities. And so, for example, this disconnection with our inner wisdom, with our intuition, and with our bodies in a feminine way, honoring our sensitivities, honoring our intuition, our ability to care, our ability to connect to others, has been affected by the culture and the patterning that we've experienced over the last 2,000 and 2,500 years. And so living in a masculine world where it is accepted, or rather more accepted, to be independent and to compete with one another, to look at things more from a physical perspective, to use our minds in greater capacity. These are all masculine traits. So these are all important, but not at the expense of the feminine traits, which are using and listening inwardly to our emotions, to the subtle realms, to the energetic field, to essence versus material manifestation, to our intuition, acknowledging and bringing gentleness and touch and all of these feminine qualities that we have had to reject, we've had to somehow hide from ourselves in many ways in order for survival, in order to succeed in the corporate world, for example, or in order to be approved of. And if you go back further a few decades, there was even more restriction for these feminine qualities. So in many ways, the ways that we have judged ourselves, rejected ourselves, etc., has affected the wisdom, the ability for us to connect and listen to the wisdom in our bodies. And so allowing ourselves to access that and to bring all of these parts of ourselves that perhaps are holding shame in our bodies, fear, shame of our own sensuality and sexuality and pleasure, fear of speaking our truth because perhaps we won't be acknowledged or approved of in the workplace or in our families. So there's many ways in which we've actually done this, and all of these patterns exist and interfere with our ability to align ourselves with our essence. So before we go on, I'd actually like to do a little process where I want to have you experience this life force and reconnect you with the wisdom in your body. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes now and do that as we move on to the next slide. Here you see the energy system or the energetic physiology of the power centers in your body. And we also call these the chakra centers. And so I want you to just become aware of this root chakra, which is the first chakra, which is red in your diagram. And this chakra center, I'm going to lead you into a little conscious meditation into that chakra. And also become aware of the second chakra, which is right below your umbilicus, your belly button. And it's really at the center of that whole pelvis area. And for the first chakra, you can think of a physical location of the perineum. Okay, so again, take a few minutes and just put down your pens, and I want you to really just focus, go within, take a couple of deep breaths. And I want you to bring your awareness, your consciousness, all the way through to that first power center, that first chakra. And just bring your awareness all the way down into that perineum, center the perineum. And as you breathe, send your breath with your intention all the way down into that center. And just envision that area opening to receive the life force itself. And then just notice what you feel in that area. As you breathe in, you're just noticing, you set your intention, and then you're just allowing. So just notice what you feel in that area. Just continue to breathe all the way through. And see if you notice yourself, any sensations in that area. And there's no need to judge any experience, whether you're feeling something, whether you're not feeling. Just noticing, and we're just becoming aware. You might have feelings, physical sensations, or emotional sensations. Maybe you've never brought your consciousness into your root center, so you may not perhaps feel anything. I just want you to invite yourself to notice without any pressure, kind of an exploration. Many of us may feel constriction or fear in this area. Many times we hold either personal trauma or personal experience or even cultural patterning of fear, of safety, or lack of. And so just notice as we continue to meet anything that we might experience, we meet it with an open heart. We meet it with an essence of love and compassion and complete openness. And then as you continue to focus in that area, know that the life force comes through this center, also comes through the bottom of your feet. So right now, feel it moving through the center and expanding. And some of you might feel tingling, might feel energy moving. You might just know that something is happening. Perhaps you're not aware yet of what that is. So you may feel more relaxed when you're sitting bones and the muscles around that area. And so just invite and say yes to this life force. As you breathe, let it expand and invite it to expand all over your body. And then bring your hands over your sacral center, which is the second center right underneath your belly button. It will be your second chakra center. Let it fill your womb. And just notice what you feel inside. You might have to become aware of very, very subtle sensations because this is not typical for you. And so at first you may not feel anything, but as you tune in and as you become quieter and listen more profoundly, you might notice things shifting, things moving, sensations, emotions, thoughts. There is a lot going on physically in the body at all times. And so all we're doing is A, acknowledging and bringing consciousness to this essence, and B, inviting it to expand so that it creates harmony in our body. And so an important fact to understand is that our biochemistry changes according to our consciousness. So whatever we are thinking, feeling, and focusing on is affecting our biochemistry, is affecting our hormones, is affecting what the body is doing physically. So when we are focusing and becoming aware of our essence, we are in turn tuning into this power that we have and aligning with this power that's inside of us. So when we're aligning with it, we're bringing our consciousness and our awareness to align with our essence in harmony. And in the physical body is a physical manifestation of our energetic body. And the physical body is then created in harmony. So what that means is that then all of the hormones and glandular processes and physical processes start to line up in synchronicity with the highest functioning for your body, which is what creates health and healing. As we clear the old conditioning that might be either in any of these energy centers or in any other place in your body, we're clearing the signal in a way that's disrupting this harmonic balance in your body. So we're actually, in essence, restoring the harmony in your reproductive system, in your glandular system, in your endocrine system, by realigning yourself with this essence. And so whatever you may be feeling in your sacral area. There may be something that's uncomfortable, and so it's just letting you know that that is what's disrupting the delicate balance in your biochemistry. And so part of the work is to bring our attention and our awareness to these areas and restore the balance. And we restore the balance in this moment by breathing into the sacral area. And breathing the part of you that knows the love, the part of you that knows there is peace wisdom in your body. There's a part of you and a part in your body that got caught in an old pattern of fear, of shame, etc. And so to complete this exercise, I want you to leave one hand on your sacral and put your other hand in your heart so that you can allow the love that's in your heart, that's innate in you, being a woman, you know how to love. This is the essence and the creative impulse within you. Bring that love, that knowing, to the sacral power center. And let that love continue to expand, combine with the love force, moving upward, meeting essence of love, joining and expanding through your whole body and outward you. And so just take a few more deep breaths, and then take a couple of seconds to just jot down any words your experience that you might want to remember later or ask about. And then when you're ready, I want you to come back out and we're going to go briefly through a little bit more information for the next few minutes. Okay, great. So come on back into your body, into your awareness, into area around you. And so I want to share with you that in my experience, what I found was that we have these 6 key principles that are critical in this process of our relationship with ourselves, that are critical to optimizing our feminine biology, that have a really strong impact on our reproductive system, on our hormones, and on our ability to conceive, to connect to this creative impulse within us and manifest life itself. So there's 6 key principles, and these 6 principles are becoming the mother of love, women as vessels of creation, embracing your feminine qualities, connecting with the secret of the cycle and your own inner rhythm, and learning to trust that. The pleasure principle, and mothering yourself. And so I want to briefly mention what these are. And then I'm going to actually tell you how we can explore these further. So for the first principle of becoming the mother of love, this is the first principle because this addresses your deep, deep yearning that you feel within your body of becoming a mother. This yearning is in your heart, and this is what has led you to want to conceive. And so this yearning is part of the communication from that deep essence within you. It's part of the wisdom. And so really listening to that yearning and then allowing yourself to really connect with that love, with the love that you feel in your body so strongly that you want to bring it out into the world and conceive. But the key here is to actually feel that love first for your own being. And fill yourself with that, because nothing can be born without love. And so it's important to contemplate how much love you feel for yourself. How much compassion do you have for yourself? How much judgment or criticism do you experience from yourself? And some of it might be very, very subtle. And so really looking at these aspects of our being and redirecting this love so that we can actually fill in the gaps where we might not be loving ourselves. And then reconnecting with that inner wisdom in the form of that yearning to become a mother. And then we have the second principle, which is women as vessels of creation. And in this principle, we go through the different energetic physiology with the chakra centers and the power centers, and how our bodies are created to be this vessel for this creative impulse, and what the different centers represent, and where perhaps in these centers we might have particular patterning of the old cultural themes that we need to allow to transform so that we can reconnect with the essence and the template for that perfection in that aspect of our bodies. So we go through the whole system and explore. And then we have the third principle, which is embracing our feminine qualities, which we talked upon. And so in which ways are we not regarding and honoring the qualities within us, the feminine qualities? And what is the relationship of the feminine qualities and the masculine qualities within us? How do we feel about our emotions or being emotional? How do we feel about our intuition or using our intuition to justify an action? Are we comfortable saying that just does not feel right to me? Are we comfortable expressing our emotions with ourselves and with others? So this is the area where you can look at your feminine and how are you holding this feminine essence within you. And then again, transform the places that are not honoring the highest vibration. And then for the fourth principle, we have the secrets of the cycle. And so this is about becoming aware that our bodies have their own rhythm and dance within themselves, but they're not separate from all other aspects of life. We're not separate from the lunar cycle. We're not separate from the cycle of the seasons. It's all on a continuum. And so really honoring, understanding, and becoming aware of how these cycles are moving within us. What is the deeper meaning? What is the wisdom in these cycles? When is it time to release and when is it time to create? And really understanding everything from the personal menstrual cycle to the hormonal cycle, to the lunar cycle, and the connection and the rhythm. And bringing ourselves, again, aligning ourselves back into this rhythm and this intelligence that we have disconnected ourselves from. Many women carry a lot of shame around our periods, experience even pain with our periods. We feel we have to hide it, reject it, and there's many, many reasons why. And so really realigning, reestablishing the honor of the sacredness and the purpose and deep meaning of these cycles within us. And then we have the pleasure principle. And the pleasure principle is really, again, about honoring not our cycles, but our bodies, and working through becoming aware of how we feel about our bodies, physical body, how we feel about our sensuality, our passion, our pleasure, our joy. Many women hold a lot of shame also with feeling pleasure in our physical bodies. It's almost like the words sacred and pleasure are two different spectrums of different corners of this linear line, and that's not necessarily true. So how do we hold our physical body and create sacredness as well as pleasure in our body? And really clearing out wherever we may be holding any shame, and this and any patterns, old patterns of sexual shame, cultural judgments on feeling our physical body and our passion. And this, again, creative impulse, which we call life force, which is a force of attraction, and really understanding it in a whole different way, where we can allow ourselves the freedom to be who we are and not have to feel like we have to hide ourselves or sacrifice some aspects of ourselves. And then the last principle is mothering yourself. And mothering yourself is all about giving to yourself what you want to give to others. As women in our culture, we tend to be the caregivers. We tend to, because we have this innate feeling and responsibility for others, for the family. I mean, we're innately wired this way, but what happens is we end up giving and giving and giving, and we forget to nurture ourselves. And we forget to deeply replenish ourselves. And so then, again, we're only honoring one aspect of the doing, which is more masculine, and it's honored in our society and in our culture. And we end up being completely empty. And it's not about doing massages all the time, but it's about really deeply honoring, respecting who we are, having boundaries, deeply nourishing, standing and aligning with our truth, standing up for ourselves in this way, having the courage to say and speak and honor our feelings, and treating ourselves without judgment or criticism, being realistic with what we can do, and having downtime to just be and enjoy ourselves without any guilt, without any shame. And so creating that balance within our lives is key. Is key to reestablishing the balance within ourselves and reconnecting with our fertility essence. And so those are the 6 fertility essence principles. And again, by connecting and empowering yourself with these principles, we are doing that by becoming aware, first of all. So all of you are experiencing the awareness of this whole other world and these principles operating within you. And so awareness and consciousness is the building block of manifestation. And so by becoming aware, by cultivating, by doing certain practices, we're able to shift our experience, our consciousness, and then therefore shift our biology, the chemicals that are produced in your body, the hormones, the interplay of your physical organism. And so this helps you with your whole process of conceiving. And so in order to really dive into these in a more concise way and really explore all of these principles, I put together a 7-week online course, which I want to take a few minutes to tell you about. And in this 7-week course, it's really the focus is on optimizing your female biology and aligning yourself with this creative, life-giving impulse that you already have. That it's, again, bringing your consciousness to that. And wherever there's that split between your impulse of wanting to be a mother and the manifestation of that not happening yet, wherever there's that split, we want to break through that. This is what this course is about. It's about breaking through that place so that you can connect with that creative impulse and then manifest on the outer and conceive. So the course, the 7-week course, can be found at nourishingwomen.com, and it will begin on July 30th. That will be the live course, and we will have all of the classes recorded. And we're going to actually go into each of these principles, one principle per week. And I'd like to tell you a few of the details with that course. We do have, there's different options that you can do, and I want to tell you what you can receive with the different options. And so we have an early bird price. If you register by July 22nd, you are going to be able to have the option to do a payment plan. You will also receive a complete PDF copy of my book, Feminine Wisdom, Rise of a New Creation, which is a nice complement for all of this work that we will be doing. And it's exactly just for fertility, women that are dealing with fertility challenges. And so that is what you will receive if you register before July 22nd. And then the options, you have 3 different options. And the first option is to just do the Fertility Essence program. And that is a 7-week course. And it's about an hour and 15 minutes for each class. And again, it will be recorded. And so whatever practices we are doing, you can listen to it over and over again. And that will also, before July 22nd, you'll have the ability to have to do 3 payments with that. And then you have the option number 2, which is Fertility Essence Radiance. And this is your 7-week course plus a personalized session for coaching with me, which will be an hour and a half through Skype. And so that would be option number 2. And option number 3 is a Fertility Essence Transformation, in which you will do the 7-week course, and then you'll do 3 personalized sessions with me. And you can spread these out during your 7-week course. You can do these at any time. And this, you will also have the option to do a payment plan before July 22nd. And after July 22nd, we will then just do 1 payment. And also, before July 22nd, you can, there is a discount on all of these packages, on the Fertility Essence, the Fertility Essence Radiance, which includes 1 coaching session, and the Fertility Essence Transformation, which includes 3 coaching sessions. And these might be really, really helpful for you to do with me during the 7-week course because you're able to really focus, personalize it, and any particular questions that may be coming up or any particular areas that you're aware of or you're not aware of, but that might actually help you in really transforming wherever you've gotten blocked before, wherever you've experienced some blockage, to help you really have a breakthrough with this course. So all of that, you can go to nourishingwomen.com, and that program will be there. It is our Awaken Your Innate Fertility Essence 7-week course beginning July 30th. And if there's any questions on any of the material that you've received today and any of these aspects, you feel free to email me at dr.Murciano@nourishingwomen.com. And I really, really would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being able to share this information, and I wish you many, many blessings on this journey. I wish you all the healing and transformation possible for you. Thank you again. Many blessings.